Stevenson. Ms Stevenson.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Eradicating child poverty is the single greatest priority for the SNP Scottish Government. No one's opportunities should be dictated by the circumstances they are born into, and supporting every child in Scotland is the greatest investment we can make in our future. Of course, poverty is a multifaceted issue which requires a range of interventions, and I'll try to touch on some key matters this afternoon. Social security is one of those areas and a key part of the Scottish Government's work to tackle child poverty was the introduction of the Scottish Child Payment. Charities called this a game-changing policy, and many academics have spoken of its significance. Professor Danny Dorlan, for example, has talked about the impact of the payment on changing the inequality level in Scotland. He also suggested that the Scottish Child Payment has perhaps caused the largest fall in child poverty anywhere in Europe since the fall of the Berlin Wall. Professor Ruth Patrick told the Social Justice and Social Security Committee that the payment is a really well-targeted policy which corrects the UK Government's divorcing of the relationship between needs and entitlement. The Scottish Child Payment is worth £26.70 per eligible child per week and puts money into the pockets of hard-pressed parents. The latest data shows that more than 4,400 children in East Kilbride receive the Scottish Child Payment, so low-income families in East Kilbride are benefiting directly from over £500,000 every month from the payment. Of course, policies like the Scottish Child Payment don't exist in a vacuum. Right now, the SNP government is mitigating the worst of policies introduced by the Tories, like the bedroom tax and benefit cap. This mitigation of Westminster welfare policies has cost the SNP government around £1.2 billion since 2010. I hope the Labour government in Westminster will take time to reflect on their plans, because by keeping Tory fiscal rules, Labour will be forcing more austerity on the people of Scotland. So in the face of Labour cuts at Westminster, Scotland's government must work harder and smarter to deliver for Scotland, using the limited resources available. The programme for government sets out some of the ways that we can do this, particularly in terms of child poverty. And as the First Minister outlined, eradicating child poverty and boosting economic growth go hand in hand. It is estimated that child poverty costs the Scottish economy over £3 billion in 2023 as a result of lower productivity and the investment required to mitigate poverty's harmful effects. The First Minister's vision to grow Scotland's economy and create jobs will, in turn, support investment in Scotland's vital public services and ambitious anti-poverty measures. And this ties in with the Social Justice and Social Security Committee's work on parental employment. Another important area is housing. We know there are challenges there, particularly with house building in the current economic climate, and of course Westminster's £1.3 billion cut to Scotland's capital budget. However, the SNP in government is continuing to deliver more affordable housing per person than in England and Wales. We've already delivered over 130,000 affordable homes, and as the programme for government outlined, another £600 million will be invested this year to continue that work. Sorry, I'm just going to move on, thank you. With this investment in affordable housing, the SNP government is keeping rents lower and benefiting around 140,000 children in poverty each year. Members on the benches opposite might not want to hear this, But Chris Burke told the Social Justice and Social Security Committee about research the Joseph Rowntree Foundation did, which found that the Scottish Government's investment in social housing has made a significant difference in keeping poverty levels lower than elsewhere in the UK. Presiding Officer, the SNP Government is delivering for the people of Scotland. We've built a new social security system with dignity, fairness and respect at its heart. We've rolled out 7 benefits unique to Scotland, including the game-changing Scottish Child Payment. We've increased early learning and childcare to 1140 hours per year, and we've delivered free bus travel for everyone under 22. Taken together, the SNP Government's policies are estimated to be keeping 100,000 children out of poverty this year. And we are doing that with the limited powers of devolution. The new UK Labour Government must take inspiration from what the SNP has achieved. They should introduce an equivalent of the Scottish Child Payment in the rest of the UK, and they must also get rid of Tory welfare reforms, such as the 2-child cap and the bedroom tax. And that would let Scottish Government invest more in its anti-poverty measures. And if they don't, more and more people will see that the only way to actually get change for Scotland is to become an independent country.
Thank you, Ms Stevenson.